You're listening to the Machuta podcast, bringing you the latest insights into transformational business, coaching, ABM, automated marketing, and AI solutions.
Welcome back to the Machuta podcast. Here we explore strategies, tools, and mindsets that drive modern marketing successes. I'm your host, Simon, and today we're going to be diving into a topic that's absolutely critical for a fractional CMO and marketing consultants alike: measuring the return on investment. So, if you're working as a fractional CMO, you know the challenge well. You're brought in to transform marketing performance, often on a really tight time frame, with limited resources and budgets. Your clients need to see results quickly, and they need those results quantified. Unlike a full-time CMO, who might have years to build their case, we operate on a compressed timeline. Every quarter matters. Every campaign needs to demonstrate value. So how do we prove our worth? How do we show that strategies that we're implementing actually move the needle? That's what we're exploring today. We'll cover the essential metrics that we need to track, the attribution models that help us tell the complete story, and the reporting frameworks that turn raw data into compelling narratives about marketing value. Let's get started. All right, let's delve a little bit more into understanding the fractional CMO challenges. So before we talk about the specifics of measurement, let's talk about why ROI is particularly challenging for fractional CMOs. When you're in a full-time executive role, you have the luxury of long-term relationship building with your board and executive team. You can educate them over time about the marketing metrics, the attribution complexity, and the lag between marketing activities and revenue results. As a fractional CMO, you don't have that luxury. You're often stepping into organizations where marketing has been undervalued, underestimated, undermeasured, maybe even everything. The previous marketing efforts might have lacked any real analytical foundation. Leadership may be skeptical about marketing's ability to drive revenue, but you're still expected to turn this around while also executing the strategy, managing the teams, and delivering results. That's why measurement isn't just a nice to have, it's existential. Your ability to demonstrate ROI directly impacts the ability to retain clients, command premium rates, and scale your fractional practice. It's the difference between being seen as a cost center and being recognized as a revenue driver. The good news here, with the right frameworks, tools, measuring marketing ROI is more achievable than ever. So let's explore how to do that effectively. Right, let's just talk about the essential metrics and KPIs. When we're building a measurement framework, it's tempting to track everything. Modern marketing platforms give us access to hundreds of data points, but as a fractional CMO, our time is limited and stakeholders' attention spans are even more so. So we need to focus on the metrics that matter most. I organize marketing metrics into 3 tiers: foundational metrics, performance metrics, and strategic metrics. Let's break that down each category. Let's start with foundational metrics. These are the basic health indicators of our marketing function. They include things like website traffic, email list size, social media followers, content production volume. And while these metrics alone don't prove anything towards ROI, they provide a little bit of essential context. If the website traffic is declining month over month, it's a leading indicator of trouble ahead. If the email list is stagnant, the future nurture capacity is really limited. For fractional CMOs, I recommend tracking these foundational metrics, but not spending much time reporting on them unless there's significant change. Include them in an appendix or a dashboard, but don't lead with them, because it doesn't actually tell a story. Performance metrics. This is where we should be spending our reporting energy. Performance metrics directly connect marketing activities to business outcomes. The specific metrics we track depends on our business model, but here are the most universally important ones. Lead volume and quality. So how many leads is marketing generating and how many of those leads are qualified? This requires close collaboration with sales to define what qualified means to your organization. And that can be marketing qualified or sales qualified or both. I recommend implementing a lead scoring system early on in the engagement so we can track not just the quantity but the quality. Conversion rates at each funnel stage. Where are the prospects dropping off? Is it in the initial contact form, during a sales conversation, after receiving a proposal? Understanding conversion rates helps us identify the biggest opportunity for improvement. Customer acquisition cost, or CAC. This is the total cost of your marketing and sales efforts divided by the number of new customers acquired. As a fractional CMO, you want to see this number decreasing over time as your strategies become more and more efficient. Marketing qualified leads to sales qualified lead conversion rate. This metric reveals how well marketing and sales are aligned on lead quality. If the percentage is low, we've either got a lead quality problem or a lead follow-up problem. And lastly there, pipeline velocity. How quickly are leads moving through your funnel? Faster pipeline velocity means we're generating revenue more efficiently, and this is especially important for businesses with longer sales cycles. Strategic metrics. So the last on our list of metrics is the strategic ones, and these are the metrics that connect directly to the business value and ROI. They're the numbers that make executives lean forward in their chairs and start nodding. Marketing attributed revenue. This is the total revenue from customers whose journey included significant marketing touchpoints. We'll talk about more about the attribution models in a moment, but this is our primary proof point. This is the bit where the executives can see exactly how much money we've spent, how much money has come in, and how effectively I have been as a marketing leader. Customer lifetime value, or CLV. So great marketing doesn't just acquire the customers, it acquires the right customers. And tracking CLV by acquisition channel helps us optimize for a long-term value, not just for short-term conversions. And a return on marketing investment. This is the revenue generated by marketing divided by marketing spend. A good ROMI varies by industry and business model, but generally we're looking for at least £3 to £5 of revenue for every pound spent on marketing. Market share and share of voice. These metrics help us understand our competitive position. They're particularly valuable for demonstrating progress in building brand awareness initiatives that might not show immediate revenue impact. The key to all these metrics is consistency. Choose a core KPI early in our engagement and track them religiously. Don't keep changing what you measure, otherwise you don't have anything measured. You'll never be able to demonstrate progress over time. Right, so let's look at attribution modeling approaches. It's one of the most challenging aspects of marketing measurements. Attribution is the process of assigning credit to marketing touchpoints for driving conversions and revenue. It's challenging because the modern buyer journey is complex. A typical B2B buyer might interact with a brand a dozen times across multiple different channels before converting. They might first discover us through a LinkedIn post and then read some blog articles, download a white paper, attend a webinar, receive nurture emails, and finally book a demo after clicking a retargeting ad. Which one of these touch points deserves credit for the conversion? The answer depends on our attribution model. So the first touch attribution. This model gives all the credit to the first touch point of the customer journey. It's simple to implement and useful for understanding what's driving initial awareness. However, it does completely ignore everything that happens after the first interaction. For most fractional CMO scenarios, first touch attribution alone is insufficient. Last touch attribution. This is the opposite approach. All the credit goes to the final touch point before the conversion. It's also simple to implement. Many organizations default to this model. The problem is it undervalues the awareness and nurture work that happened earlier in the journey. So if you rely solely on last touch attribution, you're likely to underinvest in top of the funnel activities. And then we've got the multi-touch attribution. This is where things get a bit more sophisticated but a lot more accurate. Multi-touch attribution distributes credit across multiple touch points in the customer journey. And there are several approaches. Linear attribution gives equal credit to every touchpoint. It's fair, but perhaps overly simplistic, as not all touchpoints have equal influence. Time decay attribution gives more credit to touchpoints closer to the conversion. This reflects the reality that recent interactions have more influence on decision making. U-shaped or position-based attribution gives the most credit to the first and last touchpoints, with the remaining credit distributed amongst the middle touches. This acknowledges the importance of both awareness and conversion while still accounting for the nurture. And W-shaped attribution extends this logic by giving significant credit to first touch, lead creation, and opportunity creation, with remaining credit distributed amongst other touches. We can always look at algorithmic or data-driven attribution, and it's the most sophisticated approach. Use machine learning to analyze patterns in the data and assign credit based on statistical influence. Platforms like Google Analytics 4, Salesforce, they offer data-driven attribution models, and these can be highly accurate but require substantial data volume to work effectively. So what do I recommend as a fractional CMO? Well, start off with multi-touch attribution, specifically a W-shaped or a time decay model. These provide a reasonably accurate picture without requiring massive data sets or complex implementation. As our engagement progresses and data accumulates, we can evolve towards more sophisticated attribution. But crucially, be transparent with stakeholders about the methodology. Explain which model you're using and why, because this builds credibility and helps everyone understand that attribution is an approximation. It's not an exact science. It also protects me from the accusations of manipulating numbers to make our performance look better. So let's look at building effective client dashboards. Having the right metrics and attribution model is only half the battle. We still need to present this information in a way that's clear, compelling, and actionable. This is where dashboards come in. A great client dashboard serves three purposes. It provides at-a-glance visibility to performance. It tells a story about what's working and what's not. And it builds confidence in my strategic decision. What are the design principles? Well, keep it simple. We've got to resist the urge to include every available metric. It would just bloat it out. It's complicated. People won't read it anyway. The dashboard should fit on a single screen without scrolling, or at most two screens for a comprehensive monthly review. But let's remember that, as a fractional CMO, we work with executives and leaders that are busy. The moment we start waffling or giving them extra information, they're going to switch off and we lose our credibility. In my opinion, if the dashboard can't be read and absorbed within 2 minutes, it's too long. 2 minutes is the ultimate, because whenever you give a dashboard, you're going to get questions, and that's understandable and that's healthy. So lead with outcomes, not activities. Don't start your dashboard with how many blog posts you published or how many emails you sent. No one cares. Start with the revenue impact, the pipeline generated, the qualified leads delivered. Activities can come later in a secondary view for those who want the detail. Let's use visual hierarchy. The most important metrics should be the largest and most prominent. Secondary metrics should be smaller. Supporting data can have even less prominent or even hidden in expandable sections. We also need to include context and comparison. A metric without context is meaningless. We can show month-over-month changes, year-over-year comparisons, or progress towards a specific goal. We can use color coding to make trends immediately obvious. Green for positive movement, red for concerning trends, amber for metrics that need to be watched. We need to make it forward-looking. We can't just report on what happened last month. We need to include projections and leading indicators. If website traffic is up and conversion rates are stable, project what that means for next month's pipeline. So what about the actual dashboard structure? Here's the structure I use for most fractional CMO client dashboards. Section 1, Executive Summary. This includes your 3 to 5 most important metrics, each one with the current value, comparison to previous period, and the target. This might be a marketing attributed revenue, marketing qualified leads, pipeline generated, and customer acquisition costs. Section 2, Funnel Performance. This shows the conversion rate at each stage of the funnel with month-over-month trends. It quickly reveals where prospects are getting stuck. Section 3, Channel Performance. This breaks down the lead generation and revenue by channel: organic search, paid search, social media, email, events, blah, blah, blah. It helps identify which channels deserve the most investment. Section 4, Campaign Highlights. This features 2 or 3 specific campaigns or initiatives from the past period, with their performance metrics and key learnings. And lastly, Section 5, The Future, Looking Forward. This previews upcoming initiatives and projected impact based on historical performance. Let's have a little look at tools for dashboard creation. And there are many options out there. Google Looker Studio is free and integrates with Google Analytics and other marketing platforms. Tableau, Power BI offer more sophisticated visualization capabilities. But many marketing automation platforms like HubSpot have built-in dashboard functionality. For smaller clients, even a well-designed Google Sheets dashboard can be effective. The tool matters less than the thinking behind it. Focus on the clarity, the relevance, and the storytelling. Let's move on to communicating marketing value to stakeholders. Having great data and dashboards mean nothing if you can't communicate the implications effectively. This is where many fractional CMOs fall short. They're brilliant at the strategy and execution, but struggle to translate their work into language that resonates with business leaders. Different stakeholders care about different things. Your CEO cares about revenue growth and market position and overall business performance, but the CFO cares more about efficiency, the ROI, and the budget utilization. Our sales leaders care about the pipeline quality and quantity, and the board cares about the strategic progress and competitive differentiation. So we've got to tailor our communication to each audience. Don't just deliver the same presentation to everyone. Extract the relevant insights for each stakeholder group. We've got to tell stories, not just statistics. So as humans, we're wired for stories, not spreadsheets. When you're presenting results, we can frame them as narratives. Instead of saying, we generated 150 marketing qualified leads this month, which is up 23% from last month, we can say, we've cracked the code on reaching senior decision makers in the healthcare sector. Our targeted LinkedIn campaign delivered 150 qualified leads. That's up 23% from last month, and the feedback from sales from those leads is significantly more engaged than what we were seeing 3 months ago. It's a bit more wordy, but it tells a story. It gives context, all in that one little section there. The second provided context, attributes, success to a specific strategy, and includes qualitative validation from another team. It's more memorable, more persuasive. We can't all talk about the wins. Sometimes we need to talk about the challenges. If something's not working, let's say so. Explain why we're learning and how we're adjusting. This builds trust and demonstrates strategic thinking. Stakeholders know that not every initiative succeeds. What they want to see is that we're paying attention, we're learning, we're iterating. For example, our email nurture sequence for mid-funnel prospects underperformed expectations this month with a 12% conversion rate versus 18% target. Analysis suggests our messaging was too product-focused and not addressing the business challenges that these prospects face. We're revising the sequence to lead with customer success stories and ROI case studies. I expect to see an improvement by next month. This kind of transparency demonstrates maturity and builds confidence in the leadership. So we need to connect the marketing metrics to business objectives. Always draw a line between marketing performance and business goals. If the company's objective is to expand into a new market segment, show how marketing efforts are driving awareness and leads in that segment. If the goal is to increase average deal size, show how marketing is attracting larger enterprises or driving upsell opportunities. Marketing should never feel like an isolated function, and our communications should consistently reinforce how marketing enables broader business success. So let's talk about the practical technology stack we need to measure ROI effectively. The good news is most powerful tools are more accessible than ever. The challenging news is that we need to be strategic about which tools we implement, especially with smaller clients who have limited budgets. So a core analytics platform. Well, for most organizations, Google Analytics 4 is the foundation. It's free, it's powerful, integrates with other marketing platforms. Make sure we've got proper event tracking configured, conversion goals set up, and e-commerce tracking enabled if applicable. For more sophisticated needs, platforms like Adobe Analytics or Matomo offer additional capabilities, but they come with a substantially higher cost and complexity. We also need a good marketing automation platform. It's essential for tracking the full customer journey. So HubSpot, Marketo, Pardot, and ActiveCampaign all offer strong capabilities for lead tracking, scoring, and attribution. These platforms allow us to see every interaction a prospect has with our brand and assign a value to those interactions. When selecting a platform, prioritize your CRM integration. The marketing automation platform needs to talk seamlessly with your sales systems so you can track leads all the way through to closed revenue. And CRM needs to be the system of record for revenue data. Salesforce is the market leader, but platforms like HubSpot, Pipedrive, and Monday.com offer strong alternatives at a lower price point. The critical requirement is that the CRM catches source data for every lead and opportunity, allowing us to attribute revenue back to marketing initiatives. For sophisticated analysis and custom dashboards, consider a BI tool. Like Google Looker Studio is excellent for most needs and it's free. For more complex requirements, Tableau, Power BI, or Domo provide advanced capabilities. And these tools allow us to combine data from multiple sources. Your analytics platform, your marketing automation platform, your CRM, advertising platforms, and more into one unified dashboard that tells the complete story. If we're working with larger organizations that have complex multi-channel marketing operations, dedicated attribution platforms can provide significant value. Tools like Visible, Dream Data, and Rule Analytics specialize in multi-touch attribution and can provide insights that generic platforms just miss. But these tools typically require substantial investment and data volumes to deliver value. For most fractional CMO engagements, particularly the first 6 to 12 months, you can achieve adequate attribution through your marketing automation platform and analytics stack. Not everything's digital. Some things go out on calls. So if phone calls are an important conversion path for your business, call tracking is essential. Platforms like CallRail and call tracking metrics assign unique phone numbers to different marketing channels, allowing you to track which campaign drives phone conversations. They can even integrate with your CRM to track calls all the way through to close revenue. So let's start putting it all together. We've covered a lot of ground, from foundational metrics to sophisticated attribution models, dashboard design, stakeholder communication, analytics platforms, call tracking. Let's bring it all together with a practical implementation roadmap. So, for the first 30 days, we need to establish the baseline. The priority is understanding what's currently happening, audit existing tracking and reporting, what's being collected, what's reported, where are the gaps, talk to stakeholders to understand what metrics they care about and why, what questions they need answered. We need to define our core KPIs and get agreement from leadership. Set up or improve tracking across digital properties, implement proper tagging, conversion, CRM integration if it's not already in place. The next couple of months is all about building the reporting infrastructure. So we need to create the initial dashboard with the agreed KPIs. We can start with something simple that can iterate rather than trying to build the perfect dashboard from day one. Establish a reporting rhythm. maybe weekly emails with key metrics and monthly detailed reviews with stakeholders. We can document our attribution methodology and get stakeholder buy-in. Set targets for each KPI based on historical performance and business goals. So up to kind of half year and onwards, we need to start optimizing and expanding. We've got the baseline data, we've got the initial reporting in place, we've got to start identifying the biggest opportunities for improvement. Which conversion rates are the weakest? Which channels are underperforming? We can start beginning to implement initiatives to address these opportunities, enhancing our tracking to capture more granular data, add UTM parameters to all campaigns, implement event tracking for key interactions, and improve lead source data in the CRM. We need to refine our dashboards based on stakeholder feedback and our evolving understanding of what matters most. So going beyond the kind of half year, we're now looking for the continuous improvement. Marketing measurement is never done. Continue refining our attribution model as we gather more data, test different approaches, see what provides the most actionable insights. We can expand our analytics capabilities and predictive modeling, cohort analysis, customer journey mapping as our sophistication increases. Regularly reviewing and updating the KPIs. As the business evolves, our metrics should evolve too. Build a culture of experimentation and learning. Use our measurement infrastructure to test hypotheses, validate strategies, and continually improve performances. So, as we wrap up, I just want to leave you with this thought. Excellent measurement isn't just about providing the value as a fractional CMO, though it clearly does that. It's about building strategic advantage for the clients. Organizations that measure marketing effectively make better decisions. They invest in the channels that actually drive results, and they identify problems early and correct the course quickly. They align marketing and sales around shared definitions of success. They build predictable, scalable growth engines rather than relying on luck and guesswork. When you implement robust ROI measurement as a fractional CMO, you're not just protecting our own position. We're fundamentally upgrading the client's marketing capability. We're teaching them to think about marketing as a measurable, optimizable investment rather than a necessary expense. We're creating systems and dashboards that will continue delivering value long after the engagement ends. This is the mark of truly strategic fractional CMOs. People who don't just execute tactics that build lasting capabilities. Someone who doesn't just report numbers but translates data into strategic insight. Someone who doesn't just demonstrate their own value but creates value for the organization. Start with our fundamentals. Choose the metrics that matter. Implement attributions that tells the full story. Build dashboards that inform and inspire and communicate in ways that resonate with different stakeholders. And always, always, always connect marketing platforms to business outcomes. Do this well, and we never struggle to demonstrate our value as a fractional CMO. More importantly, we drive genuine transformation for our clients, and this is what great marketing leadership is all about. Thanks for joining me for this episode of the Mature to Micro podcast. If you found it valuable, please subscribe and share it with other marketing leaders who might benefit. But until next time, keep measuring, optimizing, and keep driving results.
Thanks for listening to the Mature podcast, bringing you the latest insights into transformational business, coaching, ABM, automated marketing, and AI solutions. If you liked this episode, please like, rate, and share.